So as fast as that, we are literally getting a queue going on again for the paint shop. But we're using so many different paint shops. There's a few available now. We're using Reclamet quite a lot. Chris is actually working on the background, straight off the back of the last BMW video, just refining the last little bits for that goes off for paint. But straight onto the Fiat 600, this is ready. It's on the frame machine. We need to get it off. We need to crack on with these panels. We found slight little bits of damage in them in the last video. There's a little low spot here, and there's actually a little kink in the corner of the bonnet where it folded over on the other side. These panels are going to need to come off, of course, because they're all going to need painting on the edges as well. So I'm just going to crack on, get this one to the paint shop. It's about time we got this one finished and hopefully get it running as well, because this one is a non-runner. All of these electric cars are a bit of a pain after an accident, Chris, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
We have to keep like farming it out to Josh.
We do.
Thankfully, he really does know his onions.
Yes.
And gets stuck in, doesn't he? So
does.
Anyway, no time for messing around. Let's crack on. So all these time lapses, obviously the editing is done at the very end of the video, but this one's been spread across a couple of months, so you'll have to bear with me if I make any mistakes. So it is off to the paint shop. So bonnet off, front wing off. We're going to strip the near side front door out so that we can remove the handle and the mirror, because it's going to have a blend into that door, and there's also a little tiny bit of damage on the door. The driver's side wing can stay on because the bonnet's going to be blended into that, and of course the front bumper's going to need repainting. This is nice to see, and a long time coming, Chris.
It is.
Definitely. The Fiat 600 is back from paint. And luckily the driver just gave us a hand to get this in here, because in the last video I fitted the front panel and I have to hold that bar in the gearbox to actually keep it in, and three of us have just uffed and puffed to get this in here. But the car is back from paint. The bonnet's been done, blended into that front wing, and of course that front wing's been done and a repair done on that door, and obviously the blend's been done into the door, so the paint looks exceptional. But the whole face of the car was that front bumper that we waited so long for. And this bumper was brand new. It's come as it is now, with all new plastic pieces inside it. And I know that this was £130 dearer than the only smashed up one that was on eBay, and I'm so glad we waited for it. Now with the original bumper, I mean, we've got to cast our minds back here. There's so much damaged stuff inside here. So the grille was damaged. We've got a brand new one of those as well somewhere.
We've got the grille, yeah.
There, in there, painted, that's all done. But this lower piece, we always knew that we was going to keep, because the screws and fixings are all okay on it. Chris has got some repairs to do down there. He's just been getting everything out of the container, ready just to refresh our minds. And equally, in the last video, we said we got lucky because the DRL light and the fog light was undamaged on this car, considering the state of it. So
we are waiting a couple of bits, we should say.
They're going to be here tomorrow, but
but the radiator's still about 6 days away, I think, because that was on back order.
And the headlight lug repair kit is still no date.
No date.
They email me every week and say no date, and I can actually show you guys. Would you just grab those, Chris? I do want to show on the original headlight. I think it's in here. These headlights actually come from the factory with bolted on. You can see the holes there to bolt on the new headlight lug repairs. But we're just waiting for them to come in.
I mean,
as soon as I arrive.
Hasn't it?
Sorry?
We've been waiting on those for months.
It's over 3 months now, yeah.
So, but luckily the radiator is.
That's going to be here. I've got the fan, I've got the AC. So at least when we got that, we can fit up as much as we can.
Yeah.
But for now, we are going to, because we've had these bits lying around for ages. There's a mess everywhere.
Yeah.
We've already just thrown the bonnet in the skip, which was lovely.
Yes.
We're now going to build up that new front bumper.
We think there's possibly a cover.
Yeah, goes over the radar.
That we might be missing. So, but we can't put the bumper on today.
No.
Because radiator.
That's right.
So if we fit this up as far as we can go, and we have got a couple of bits missing, we effectively got a week to get them.
That's right.
Because of that radiator. So
should we get on with it then, mate?
I think so. I think we should. And we've got a box in the container with a few odds and sods.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and get that out.
All right.
and then yeah, we get what we can put together.
That's the black one. There's a coloured one somewhere.
Back seat.
Oh, is it? Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
obviously all just come back from Reclamat, hasn't it? So that's all been painted as well. Right, enough waffle. Let's do it. So I've got a couple of trestles out there. I've got the old bumper on one of them and the new bumper on the other one. And I'm just swapping over all of the parts from the old one onto the new bumper now that it's all painted. Now, I believe that we're actually using most of the parts here, and it was just a couple of grills we had to buy. But I did actually note, well, Chris noticed, we're still missing one little trim, but we get that sorted. As I said in the time lapse, Chris was cracking on over here. I cracked on with a bumper, and we both run out of parts.
We have, mate.
So that is the radar. That's all put back on there. I mean, we know this has got to come off, but we just wanted to locate where everything goes, even down to these little brackets. We really today could have done with that headlight lug repair kit. It's so frustrating that it hasn't arrived. With the front bumper, just quickly, as I built it up, I noticed, well, Chris noticed, he went, you got a black trim missing there. And I thought, if I'd have noticed that early on, I'd have ordered it, but I didn't. But it is going to be here today. It was UK stock, as was that radar cover.
That's right.
So that's the front bumper, all built up. I need to go and grab the number plate for it. I still can't believe those lights weren't broken. And our new air condenser, bought that brand new, very cheap. And the coolant fan, got really lucky with that as well. I don't know if one of the little, there it is. Now these on eBay are like 275 to 350 quid, and that is what everyone is asking for them. But I managed to find that one for 125. So I'll quickly press buy it now.
Yeah.
And the numbers on that and that match up absolutely perfect.
Yeah, identical item.
Identical.
But not off of a Fiat.
It's not off of a Fiat, it is off of a Peugeot 2008. And I thought, worst way.
But also fits a
Peugeot
Vauxhall,
208.
Vauxhall.
Corsa F.
Corsa, yeah. Numerous.
They're all pretty much the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought worst way, even if the motor was blown up, we got our original one, and we know it's done hardly any miles. Anyway, we're just waiting for the dealer to arrive and the water rad, so I guess we're just going to leave it there for a minute until that arrives. So on to the rad pack. It don't always work out like this, but it was so much cheaper to do it this way round. So brand new rad, brand new air condenser, and of course a second-hand fan. And I'm just building them up, copying the old one, just making sure it's all perfect, and using any of the fixtures and fittings that we've got on the old one to get them ready. So I'm going to try and slide the rad pack in here, and you see it was a little bit of a fail. All I had to do was remove the fan, slide it in, then put the fan in after. They're all fitted. So the radiator arrived, and I put the whole rad pack together, you see in the time lapse, and I thought, I reckon there's enough room to slip that in there, but there wasn't room for the fan. But there was after I'd put the radiators in, clicked them in, screwed them down, managed to do it. We are really getting there with this car now. Don't forget, it still doesn't drive, but we've just spoken to someone.
Yeah.
Can you come round there a little bit, Chris? I don't want to show us in the background.
No.
And he's confident.
Yes.
You already researched.
I've done a bit of research. Really, what I was looking for was the location of the pyro.
Yeah.
Because we'd had conflicting reports, haven't we, about, oh, you've got to drop the battery pack, which we weren't keen on dropping the battery pack. It's a bit specialised. But nevertheless, if we had the tool up for it, we would. But done a little bit of research, and these, along with several other vehicles, do not have a physical pyro.
Stellantis.
Yes.
So PSA.
They have an equivalent electronic version that's resettable.
Okay.
That's what the research was, wasn't it? Then we, well, where do we go from here? Start Googling specialists, but out of the blue, we both had an Instagram message.
From a chap, yeah.
From a chap who follows. So you've spoken to him on the phone. He's confirmed there is no pyro, but he's also in a position to reset
it,
that said physical cut, if you want to call it that. It's not. It's an electronic cut rather than a physical cut. So, but the car's got to be pretty much back together.
So I'm going to crack on with it.
Yeah.
The only thing we are outstanding, as far as myself and you know, is the headlight lug repair kit.
But we come up with a cunning plan for that.
We did come up with a cunning plan yesterday to bite the bullet and buy a brand new headlight. On back order.
On back order, and can't give a date.
2 steps forward, 3 steps
But
back.
we have got a confirmed date.
We
now
got the
for
date, 30th
of the 5th
of May, for a headlight lug repair kit. I'm not going to waffle on any longer. That's in there. I want to connect up the coolant hoses. I want to vacuum bleed it. I want to get some coolant in it and get as much of this car back together as possible. Anything to add?
No, I think that's just, I think that demonstrates why a lot of these cars are getting written off.
Yeah.
If parts availability is not there. I mean, an insurance company could be doing a job where they require headlight, various parts that we've had on back order. So they're not going to put someone in a hire car for
6 months.
6 months, are they?
No.
And they're going to write the car off and pay the person out.
Absolutely.
So I think that demonstrates that.
I think we got so much, and even I think in a minute, or in a little while, we will get that front bumper hung on there temporarily. It's going to have to come off to have the headlight back in it, but
yeah, and also we need access to that selector in the gearbox.
Gear selector, yeah.
Because you've removed that.
I have.
To enable us to push the car along.
Yeah.
So it depends whether the car's staying here to be, and the guy's coming here to reset that, or if the car's got to go to him, we probably want to leave that off, at least till we get it on the truck, and then build it up on the truck maybe.
I agree.
And then, fingers crossed, you take it to him, and he plugs his bit of kit in, and works his magic.
All right, mate, I'll do as much as I can here before it goes.
All right.
So just connecting up all of the coolant lines here and the aircon lines. There's just 3 little coolant lines, one on the bottom of the rad, one on the top, and then like a little return. Then you've got your 2 aircon pipes, push those on, and then you've got 2 10mm nuts to do up on those. Of course, I've put new O-rings in there as well. And then you've got your wires for your fan, and then once they're plugged in, you want to go round and just push all your little clips home and make sure all the wiring's located exactly where it come away from originally. So a little hold there on the pressure just to make sure that we've got no leaks. As soon as we're happy with that, we can start the process of vacuum filling the coolant. It looks good. With all of that complete, all the pipes all plumbed up, everything plugged in, everything located exactly where it needs to be, all I'm down to is the bonnet cable, but you would have seen I left it quite a long time there, and it was just under 1 bar of pressure. And I've just been off and got myself and Chris a coffee. I've been out, it's been at least an hour on there, and it's holding pressure absolutely fine. So I'm going to go on to the vacuum bleed, get it bled up, and you can see I've got a nice new can of coolant there, and I've got a full up mixture one there. So we're going to go with the mixture one first. If it takes any more, then I'll put more in it, but there's not actually anything listed, no amount listed for how much this does hold. So I'm afraid it's going to be a bit of trial and error, but excited where we're going with this one now, and hopefully get some coolant in it and get this front end buttoned up. So straight onto the vacuum filled air of the coolant, and you can see what I actually did was I swapped the coolant halfway through there. So I went to put the wrong colour coolant in the car, and then of course I rung Fiat, got the correct colour, because I knew that it had one colour in it, and the one that I ordered from the motor factors was actually different. So I just double checked it and did buy the right colour. But that is the coolant system completely bled up. So actually here, a bit more messing around, and I'm removing that little the gear change section out of the gearbox. There's 3 little 10mm there to get that out. Chris is putting the little wing clips on. We still can't put the bumper on, of course, because we haven't got the headlight brackets, but the car still don't drive, so I'm about to take that gearbox thing out. You can see me holding a bar in there, bring the truck in, and then Chris is steering it, and we're loading it onto the back of the truck. And I'll explain to you exactly why and where this car is off to, because it's off out of the workshop once again. Well, if you know, you know. That was an absolute challenge, getting that on the back of there, and it's been a challenge since the day we got it, with just where it's impossible to move it. The handbrake's off, as we know, but sticking that rod in there just to get it into neutral to be able to move the car. Anyway, slight change of plan. We've had word from Josh. He's now been authorised on the Stellantis. He's been waiting to download it. Anyway, been waiting for them to come back to him. He's now all authorised, and he said that he can actually do this. we'll certainly give it a go anyway. So he just said, bring it over on the back of the truck, Rob, leave the truck with me, and then come back in one of my old cars. So that is exactly what we're going to do. All 4 straps on, let's go. So 1 month later.
1 month later, Rob.
We've only got 2 mics, and I don't want it.
No, you're sick of talking about this car, aren't you?
So about this car, honestly, it is the bane of our lives at the moment.
It is.
Mate, take it away.
Well, we're here with Josh now. Josh kindly agreed to take this on for us. He's our go-to guy when we can't get any further with him, isn't he? Now you plugged into this, didn't you?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you couldn't get beyond.
The scan tool is so limited.
Yeah.
The aftermarket tool was so limited for it, and obviously it had a crash event in it.
Yeah.
In the battery, and it obviously won't let you drive. There was a couple of codes. One of them I wouldn't tell me what it was. The other one was the crash event. So it wouldn't drive.
So we sent it to the Fiat garage.
Yeah, so I thought the easiest thing to do is buzz it over to Fiat and let them do the reset. So they had it. They didn't like the fact the headlight was missing, which is Fiat's fault anyway. But they they did take it in eventually. Then they said they can't do it. Tried to do the reset, it won't work. And then they turned around and said it needs the airbag module doing to let them do the reset. It was all a bit confusing, and ultimately, I mean, it's a little bit, not a relief, but it's nice that it's not just independents that struggle and have to learn.
Yeah.
But this car ain't a Fiat.
No, you said.
It's not a Fiat, it's a Peugeot with a Fiat shell on it. So when we realised that, so I got it back, then I put it in amongst all of this just to try and speed it up. We got hold of the genuine Fiat tool and put it on. The genuine Fiat software, but using an aftermarket tool to run it, and it wouldn't do the reset. And I could see what they've tried to do, it wouldn't do the reset. And I think I said to you, Rob, I was like, I think it's the gateway module stopping the aftermarket tool working and this, that and the other. And in the end, I mean, I pulled the glove box out of this and a few trims off trying to find a gateway module.
Yeah.
It hasn't got one. It's a Peugeot. It's a Peugeot. And once I knew that, it was doing my head in, so I popped in on a Sunday where it was quiet and plugged it in as a Vauxhall mocker. The crash data's gone from the battery in 5-10 minutes.
Right.
Gone. Just because it ain't a Fiat. It is a Fiat, but it's not a Fiat. Once you knew it was a totally different system, ding this whole way.
Am I right in saying once you'd done that, you then attempted to put it in drive, and it momentarily
went to go,
and then it cuts.
Then it pinged up, and it's got traction battery fault. And that second code that I said about that our machine had, that didn't have a description, put it back on the Fiat tool. That didn't have a description, so it says a crash thing. It's got no information on how to fix that code. Whatsoever. Like the Fiat tool, it doesn't give you a test plan. No. It just says unknown, speak to Fiat technical. So then I've gone back on my tool as a Vauxhall or Peugeot or whatever, and it's saying battery temperature. Right. And then there's a guy kindly who worked for the Stellantis group, and he's sending me, he still hasn't done it, but he's sending me the full documentation. Right. But the battery's got to come out, and there's a fault with a temperature. There's some sort of fault inside the battery saying that the temperature sensor's wrong.
Right. And that's a safety critical thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it won't
cause it to cut out. Or,
yeah. But you obviously, with the crash date is gone, because if you keep hammering and clearing the code, eventually it will go into drive and reverse for a split second, then cut out. But as we've been discussing, there isn't anything wrong with this battery.
No.
Because if that code been on there, no one would have had the ability to crash the car.
No, that's right.
So I'm thinking it's a software issue where the 12-volt battery's gone down. So we are going to try, just before dropping the battery, we're going to try and give the car a full software update. The Fiat tool did say there was free software updates for it. It didn't say battery pack, but it said there was free software updates. So we are going to try that. And program an airbag ECU, because Fiat turned around and said it needs the airbag ECU to drive. But it isn't true. It isn't the case. They said you won't get rid of that crash data in the battery without changing the airbag ECU.
But you have.
But we have.
But we've got another fault.
But we've got this fault, which was on there, because the code was on there when we very first looked at it. But obviously we didn't know what it was, because it doesn't, like I say, the Fiat information's so limited. Yeah. But as soon as you realise it's the Peugeot comes back. And so we will get it done.
So unfortunately, we're going to have to still leave the car with you, which you're sick of looking at it probably.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're either going to see a battery coming out, or it's just a software update and it'll be a boring video. But it might be interesting to see what's inside in the battery.
Well, I guess.
We'll let Josh do the video on his channel, taking the battery out. Honestly, I'm so disappointed in this car.
Yeah.
And they probably can't hear me. Let's nick your mic for a minute, Josh. I'll get you to hold the camera, Chris.
Yep.
Actually, I should have left that one there with Josh, but I'm so disappointed in this car. And this business is mine and yours, and I've actually bought another electric car since. I know we can't hear, and it is another Fiat, and I'm absolutely dreading it because it's a waste of money. This car, I don't know if we actually mentioned earlier in this video, has now been here with Josh for a month on the back of this truck. So it is just, at the minute, it's a massive paperweight. And the previous part of this video was filmed 5 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago, and that's why we're doing this. To actually shut this video down, I want to forget about this car and stop hassling Josh.
And also, we're still waiting for either a headlight or headlight repair kit.
Repair
still
kit,
on back order.
But as soon as that comes in, we can get this car back together. That is going to be the end of today's video.
There is another work.
Sorry, Josh.
I say there is another workaround eventually. We rip it out and stick a M57 BM engine or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is going to be the end of today's video. And it really an update. So many people still keep asking, I can't even get my words out, about this Fiat. That is as far as we got with it. We've hit a brick wall, and I'm not going to keep ringing Josh, bothering him. He'll ring us when it's done. That's the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up. We really do appreciate it, and it shows your appreciation. Don't forget, like, subscribe and share, and we'll look forward to seeing you all very, very soon in the next one.
And huge thanks to Josh for his
thank you.
perseverance.
Yeah, and parking.
Yeah.
Parking bill will be right, go off.